Well, tonight, only on 4, a Silver State secret. We all expect elected leaders to represent our interests and not those of corporations giving them a lot of money and gifts. But News 4's investigative reporter Ben Briscoe found a loophole in the law which raises doubts about what's really going on.
From the YouTube videos, the PokerStars annual conference in the Bahamas looks like a lot of fun. There's dancing. Headliners like former Destiny's Child member Kelly Rowland. And the food.
Free drinks, there's prosciutto and mozzarella, like what more can a guy ask for? I'm having a time of my life.
News 4's confirmed the corporation paid for Senate Majority Leader Stephen Horsford to attend the 2011 event. PokerStars also shelled out the cash to fly Majority Whip William Horn and Commerce Chairman Kevin Atkinson to corporate headquarters in Great Britain. But the company Lobbyist never publicly reported these trips happening.
They're not doing that to find a cure for cancer because they, want to help kids with autism, all right? They're doing it to help their bottom line.
Bob Fulkerson of the Progressive Leadership Alliance of Nevada has been fighting for transparency in the state for more than 15 years. He says lobbyists have become experts at exploiting loopholes in Nevada's reporting requirements.
Silence and darkness and back rooms are the friends of the fat cat lobbyists. They hate it. I mean, they really hate the sunlight.
In fact, a News 4 search of records detailing lobbyist gifts doesn't reveal any of the trips. They show Horsford only received $47 since 2010. But remember, he went to the Bahamas on a lobbyist dime in 2011. And in the London trip, Atkinson reports $184, and Horn rings up the highest with $254, which clearly is not enough to cover the flight. Most round-trip tickets we found were at least $1,000.
Throw us a bone, let us know how much you're giving.
It's not that anything illegal is going on here. Nevada law only requires lobbyists to report during legislative sessions. That's these 4 months out of every 2 years. Over several days, News 4 called lobbyists. No one would go on camera saying they were against the idea of year-round reporting. However, many did say they don't think there's a need to change the law. Former State Senator Sheila Leslie says she sees it a different way because of her first-hand experience.
People are used to going out to dinner or playing golf with the lobbyists and not having to worry about having to explain it later.
Research done by News 4's fact-finding team shows that Nevada is alone in this law. Out of the 4 other states that have a legislature that meets every other year, each one requires year-round reporting. That's Texas, North Dakota, Oregon, and Montana. Only Nevada allows for the blackout periods.
There's a lot of time outside of session when those kinds of activities go on, but for whatever reason, we've decided the public doesn't need to know about that.
Leslie brought a bill last session to require reporting year-round. In a rare bipartisan move, that legislation passed the Senate unanimously, but it didn't even make it out of the Assembly committee for a vote on the floor.
I think there should be much greater transparency. We should have to report gifts.
Pat Hickey's a member of that Assembly Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections. He says the bill failed because of a decision by Chair Tick Segerblum, who Hickey feels probably faced pressure from the fellow Democrats who went on those PokerStar trips mentioned at the beginning of this story.
Because some of their own committee chairmen had behaved badly in accepting trips abroad from lobbying interests, I don't think they wanted it to be voted on.
So just to make sure I have this right, you're saying even though there was a unanimous vote in the Senate, one person stopped this bill in the Assembly?
The chairman absolutely controls that committee.
I said it's really my fault.
Interviewing over satellite from Las Vegas, Segerblum says it was a procedural issue, not political pressure, which made him decide to kill the bill.
Because we were doing redistricting, we had done 2 major pieces of campaign reform law, and it just got up on the deadline, and there wasn't time to really do it service.
He actually thinks year-round reporting is a fairly good idea.
I will promise you and your audience that next session this bill will be #1 and it will pass.
Leslie also says if elected again, she won't give up on the issue.
I think if the public understands the issue and starts demanding of their legislators that this happen, it can happen.
Meaning if you want to know about the next expensive dinner, golf outing, or even trip to the Bahamas that a lawmaker takes, Start beating the drums now. Ben Briscoe, News 4.
Well, we want to point out Stephen Horsford's representatives called tonight to tell News 4 that he eventually paid back the money for that PokerStars trip. Still, under the current law, that trip did not have to be reported. And we'd like to know what you think. Should lawmakers have to report gifts from lobbyists even when the legislature is not in session? Well, nearly all of you, about 97%, say yes, they should have to report them, while just less than 3% say no.